I'm out here today, and we got the electric turned on last night, which you just saw. And I'm going to kind of go over some of the problems that we're facing with the house. Give you just a little bit of a better idea of what's going to have to be done to make this thing livable. So here we are in the basement here, and like I mentioned in the introduction video, this wall is quite wet. It's a little worse than I thought though, because we had a bunch of rain the last couple days, and you can see that it has basically kind of left a lot of standing water on the basement floor. So definitely going to require some attention. Like I said, there is a problem with the drainage of the slope of the ground at the front of the house, but I'm not sure that that's causing all this or not. I don't know. There is a septic system, or not a septic, over here in the corner, a sump pump. You'd think with that much rain that the sump would have been overfilling since the power wasn't on, but the water level is surprisingly low in the sump pump, so I don't know what we got going on here. So we're going to have to tackle that for sure. I also have a problem, just little stuff. Over in this area here, there was a wood burner, or the blower unit for an outdoor wood, like a wood ductor type system. And obviously this is where the cold air return came in. I know it's hard to see on here, but it's just a gaping hole in the cold air return system where they ripped it out. This was the control wire for the thermostat, obviously. And another nice little feature, I guess they use it to supplement the hot water. So that's taken off, but at least there's valves to shut that off. There's some wiring on the ground here, and then just a random Romex cable that's coming down from the ceiling that's just been snipped off on the end. And I kind of followed that up into the electrical panel, and that was in the furnace circuit, so they just cut that and I pulled it all out of here. They didn't care. Over here in the corner, like I said, I know it's hard to see. See if we get a light on here. There was this, obviously it's not only very damp, but there was this line here, which is where the hot water pipes came in from the outdoor wood burner. They pulled that all out and just kind of left it exposed to elements, so covered that up out there. Another little thing I found already. Once we get the house warmed up, I'll be able to turn the water on and check the well out. But looks like they just snipped off one of the wires on here for some reason. So I have to figure that out. That's the pressure switch that turns the well on and off. It's got the pressure tank, which looks like a decent sized tank as long as it works. There's no kind of water softener or filtration system, so we'll have to look into that. Out here the water tends to be very soft though, so I can understand why there wouldn't be a water softener, but definitely want some kind of filtration system. This is where it comes in from the well. Outside through the wall. So we've got a couple electrical issues down here for sure with the well system. This wire that I was talking about, that's not that big of a deal because I can just pull that out. Then we have another random wire up here that's just cut in half. So got to trace that, find out where that goes and why it just cut in half. So as I said, it does have a sump pump, which is kind of silly. I would not have put a sump pump on this property just because if you look out the back here, it's a downhill slope. Could have just been a gravity system and you would not need a sump pump. It's one less thing to fail. So I'm not sure why they did that, because all the sump pump does, come back out here, it pumps the water out right here, which just sprays it right back down the side of the foundation again. So it's completely pointless. So obviously we'll have to tie that in to a drainage system. We're going to put a drainage system into the gutters and then run it down over the hill here.
Remember your first video?
We're doing a little cleaning.
A ton of cleaning. We moved the stove out, the couch out.
And the big desk.
Alright, so obvious problems up here. There are various holes in the wall. That's easy stuff. Those are relatively easy repairs in the scheme of things. Just like little corners require plaster touch up. A lot of the trim work, it needs to be replaced. I don't know if that's like dog damage or child damage or what, but a lot of that'll need replaced. Like I mentioned, the flooring in some of the areas of the house, like here in the bathroom, the floor, the whole subfloor structure, and you can't really see it on camera, but it's bowed. And it's a really weird material they used. It's like a...
Oh, that camping chair? I guess not. It didn't
looks like kind of like a pegboard, but without the holes.
Keep it. Keep it for now. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Other electrical issues here in the bedroom. This switch has some kind of short, or you can see just by touching the switch, it makes the light turn on and off. Like I said, it's a modular home, but they used like mobile home grade switches and outlets in it. There's no actual boxes, so all of this is going to have to be replaced. I'll just take all this out of here, replace it with actual electrical boxes and regular switches and outlets and such. So, still trying to identify which circuits are what, which ones aren't. All over the house there are these vents that have nothing running to them, and you can see right down into the basement. And this was, once again, it's like they had just a completely separate heating system in the house that the outdoor wood burner used. So you have these grates in all the rooms with straight through to the basement, and then the regular system like for the central air and the gas furnace. Here's another spot in the hallway. The drywall is completely chewed up. Probably be cut out and replaced right here. I mean, I don't even know what did that. It goes all the way up the hall, up the wall. There's damage to the wall. In the utility room here, so here's the electrical panel. And this is how it was with this breaker sticking out. So I need to identify what that's for. And we'll have to go through these one by one because this is the door that was on there. And you can't read anything on here. It's completely rusted and destroyed. It's disgusting. This whole wall obviously needs to be completely replaced. There's not any moisture damage, but as you can see, like I said, they had a dog in here that just tried everything to tear its way out. And here's the panel cover, which I'm not even sure if it's worth trying to get the rust off of that and fix it. To see if I can buy that aftermarket. Alright, over here is the furnace. And it's some kind of Coleman furnace. And the plan is to probably just go ahead and rip all of this out and replace it. Relocate everything to the basement and just put a whole new HVAC system in. There's various mildew on the walls over the whole house just from where it sat for over a year with no heat. So the heating and cooling made condensation, which turned to mold and mildew. So far there's no signs of any black mold, but definitely the whole house needs a complete cleaning. You see there's a roof leak that's coming through the ceiling right here. So that will need to be addressed. There is attic access right here, so you can find out exactly where it's coming from up in the roof. I think it's coming from a vent pipe, a seal around a vent pipe on the roof, because there is vent pipes right up above here for the plumbing and for the furnace.
Flat on it, didn't you?
So I'm at the front door. Like I said, when you come in the door, and this is pretty much impossible to see on camera here, but there's a bow to the whole subfloor, straight from the front door all the way back. And really cannot figure out why. If you go down in the basement below here, everything looks completely fine. There's no source of water that would cause to do that, unless it just somehow took on moisture from the basement, is my guess, and it's causing that to happen. So this is all going to have to be cut out and replaced. But my mother and wife have been in here today just trying to bag up some stuff, what they can easily. The cleaning company is coming this week to start working on getting rid of everything. It's going to be thousands of dollars probably, because of how many dumpsters full. That was their estimate at least. And it's basically a price per dumpster. There's no labor charge for carrying the stuff out. So it's just however many dumpsters they have to use, that's the bill. So it's actually pretty good. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, definitely have our work cut out for us here, but it's a very nice property, and it is connects to the rest of the family's property all around us, so it was kind of like the chunk that was missing. So there'll be another video in the next few days when we start the cleanup process. Thanks.